Hey beautiful people, welcome again to Tashlocx, and today basically what we're going to be talking about is the 6 ways to start your locks. In the previous video we talked about the pattern styles to start your locks. On this channel I'm going to be taking you on step-by-step process and how to start your lock journey. So today we're just going to be talking about the 6 ways to start your lock. If you haven't watched that video, I want you to go up, click on the link upload and go and see that video. You really need to see that video. So before we go into today's topic, who's just coming on this channel, if you want to just start your locks, or you want to advise someone on how to start their locks, or you want to start yours yourself, then this channel is for you. I would like you to go and subscribe and click the subscribe button, like this video, and turn on the bell notification. The bell notification is very important because it's going to help you to see when I post new videos on this channel. And to my old subscribers, thank you for viewing, thank you for always supporting me. I love you all. So now let's go into the business of today. So I'm sure you guys will be wondering at some point, why am I looking down? I'm looking at my notepad on my phone. That's where I've written some details I'm going to be telling you about. I don't want to miss out on anything, so that's why I wrote it out. And at some point I'll be looking down at it, so please don't be angry when you see me look down at my phone. So there are basically 6 different ways to start your locks. Like, I guess there are more than that, but I'll be telling you about just 6 ways. I might mention one other, which makes it the 7th, but we won't be talking more on that. I'll tell you more on the 6 common ones that people do, and the 6 ones you can actually do it by yourself in your house. So let's talk about the first one, which is twist. Okay, let me first list everything before we talk about the first one. Okay, so we'll have twist, we have braids or plaits, we have comb twist, we have backcombing, which is not commonly known like that. We have Sisterlocks, we have extensions, and 7, we have freeforms or organic. So let's start with twist. I can see you guys are wondering why I'm smiling, and I say let's start with twist, let's start with it. That's because I started my locks with twist also. And I did this because twist was more easier, and it was easy for me to carry because I'm a naturalista and I made twist before, so me doing twist for my starter locks was just like a great thing. It was easier for me, and I love how twist looks like. I love how it feels on my hair. So that's that for my own journey. But I'm going to be telling you about the drawbacks, that's the disadvantage and the advantage of all ways you want to use to start your lock. So anyone you choose, the choice is left to you to pick the right one for yourself. So for twist, the drawbacks of twist is that the lines of the two-strand twist, it can take from 6 months to 2 years for it to clear up completely. Just like my dread, like there are sometimes when I look at my locks, I can still see some that still shows a little bit of twist in them. So that is one of the drawbacks of twist. And the appearance of solid locks. What do you want to expect when you use twist? Your twist may unravel at the end, just like my locks. My locks is like the mouth of it is not that locked. I think like that. It's like someone with a coil 4C hair, and the mouth is just, I don't know what to call it, but I guess you guys can see that you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, as we go on in this channel, I'm going to post my lock journey, how I started, and tell you guys how my locks is. I'm going to show you all my journey, how I started, from how it was before and how it is now, but that's not what we're doing today. So that's for twist. Twist is actually very great, and it's very easy to do, very easy to do. And I guess it's the easiest. Yeah, it's the easiest and fastest, but everyone has their own ideas of it. So let's go into the next one, which is braids or plaits. Someone with 5 inches of hair of any texture, being 4C, 4A, 4B, 4D, anyone can do braids or plaits. But I don't know how true this was because I didn't use braids to start mine, but I've read a lot and I've heard many people say that when you do use braids to start your locks, it's very flat. And I think I support that idea because you know the way braids looks like, how flat they can be. They're not as big and fat as twist and round as twist, but braids are flat. So I'm sure when the locks start growing, they become very flat. So that's it. One of the drawbacks of this is that it takes 1 year to disappear. With longer hair, it may not disappear. So I get shorter hair, I advise to start to use braids or plaits to start their locks. The resulting locks may be flat, which I already said. They may be flat in appearance rather than them being circular like those we use twist or other types. What will you expect if you use braids or plaits to style your locks? The braids may unravel. I guess this is just common to everything because twisting sometimes it unravels, so the braid may unravel. And mostly for those with their braids unravel are those with a very soft texture of hair, like the coily hairs. So you might lose at some point. So that's it. And you can, for those who wants to use braids or plaits to start their locks, you can use palm rolling or interlocking for maintenance to maintain it as time goes on. So next we're going to be going into number 3, which is comb coils. I'm sure you guys will be wondering what is comb coil, what is comb coils, comb coil. Comb coils is actually like the easiest. As you can see, there's a picture here on my left hand side. It's just you taking a comb and using it to like coil your hair with gel. That's all about comb coils. Or you just taking your hair and twisting it with your hand. That's comb coils. It's very easy to do, very easy. But one disadvantage I noticed about comb coil is that it gets rough easily and it's hard to maintain. There's one thing about comb coil, you know, it's the gel that keeps that holds it together, so it can get rough. You can't really maintain it as much as you would maintain twist or braids. Or if that's your choice and you love it, you love the way comb coil feels and how it looks, you can just go for it. This is just my own opinion about it. So any hair texture can do comb coils, any hair texture. From 2 to 3 inches of hair you can do with comb coils. It is best for pencil styles and traditional locks. What are the drawbacks of this? That's the disadvantage. It is best for shorter lengths and it locks fairly, like randomly everything locks together like at the same time. Unlike twist, you can just like, the hair is like secondary school, like you're graduating. So sometimes you might notice in your hair that when you start your lock journey that a part is already budding and some are not yet budding. Okay, in my next video we're going to be talking about that, so you don't need to worry about all these terms I'm using. So that is how it is. It's just like one part of your hair is growing and the other part is still at one stage while another is already 2 steps forward. But when you use comb coils, they lock fairly, everything just locks randomly at the same time. So what are you to expect when you do comb coils? They are sensitive to water, so you have to protect them very well. You have to wear caps, you can pour water on your hair, so you have to protect them, especially those with soft textures. And they are the quickest to look like coils, like to look like locks, sorry. They're the quickest to look like locks. When you use comb coils, it doesn't look like locks immediately. People see you and they're like, wow, like your locks is fun. But when you use twist and braid, people don't like, it takes time before people know that you are about to transform your hair into locks. I could remember when I did twist and everybody was like, what's this on your hair? What are you carrying? And I'm telling them I'm locking my hair, and they're like, you're locking your hair? Like, we don't understand, like, how is this going to change into locks? So it takes time, like, unlike comb coils, it's going to show that you're trying to turn your hair into locks easily to people. So next we have backcombing. That's the one I said is not really common, as you can see it on my left hand side here. You can see the picture of what it looks like. Backcombing. So I'm not going to be talking much about it. I'm just going to give you the brief. I'm just going to brief you on it. So backcombing, it's commonly for Caucasians with straight hair, and for people with perfectly soft, fine hair texture. What are the drawbacks? If you don't maintain the locks properly in the beginning, you can have blowouts or building on the shafts instead of the hands. So one thing about backcombing is that when you don't maintain the locks properly, you have blowouts instead of at the end. Instead of at the ends here where your hair is supposed to lock, you start having it like locking somewhere. It doesn't lock from here upward. So it needs proper maintenance. So what are the expectancy when you use the Caucasian method? It gives instant locks easily, and it is easy to maintain using palm rolling or comb twisting method. So when you use palm rolling or comb twisting method, it's like very good and easy to maintain. So that's that about backcombing. There's not much to say about that because I don't really know much about that because I didn't use it and I don't have people who has done that. Next we'll be going to Sisterlocks / interlock. I have friends with Sisterlocks and I'm like, wow, your hair looks so great, but I don't think I can do that with my hair because I won't go into that. But I love Sisterlocks also, and I love people who rock it, but I know it takes so much maintenance and it takes so much for Sisterlocks. We're still going to be talking about Sisterlocks later. That's going to be like a topic on its own on this channel. We're going to talk about Sisterlocks, everything, how to start from the beginning and how to maintain it and everything. But today we're just going to the basics of it. So Sisterlocks / interlocking. People with active lifestyles who want neat locks, they tend to go for this. People who want a neat lock, so very tiny lock. So I noticed that there's a difference between Sisterlocks and micro locks. Sisterlocks are, let me say, midi size of locks, while micro locks are like the mini size of locks. So it's like to know how to put it, like Sisterlocks, they're both in the same family, but one is older than the other. Sisterlocks is a bit bigger, while micro locks is like very tiny. So it depends on which you want to do. But anyway, here's a picture of Sisterlocks, how it looks like / interlocking. And people who don't want to be they don't want to like worry about maintenance that much like that can do Sisterlocks. Like they don't want to worry about, when I say maintenance, it doesn't mean like they will maintain the hair yet. They're going to maintain it, for people who don't want to worry about palm rolling or interlocking that much, they go for Sisterlocks. But if you're someone you don't want a tiny locks and you don't want something looking so real like that, I would advise you not to go for Sisterlocks, because like you can see from the picture, it's very, very, very tiny, and it looks like this hair they call 1 million braids. Like it's so tiny, like some people don't like to go for Sisterlocks, like because of the size. So what are the drawbacks? The drawbacks, just like I've said earlier, they're smaller in size, and it takes 6 months to 2 years for the locks to disappear, just like twists, as we said earlier. And what are the expectancy when you use Sisterlocks to start your dread. It looks quick. So I don't know about this, but from what I've read, and I don't know how true this is, but from what I've read and what I've gathered, I feel why Sisterlocks locks quickly is because the locks are tiny. So why twist will lock so long? The locks are fat because it's going to take time for it to bud, for it to say, okay, yes, let's start locking together and all that. Sisterlocks is very, very tiny. So the amount of time twist and braid is going to use to like start those their foundation processes, Sisterlocks is already like building its way up. Same thing goes to the comb coils. It locks quickly because the process in which the comb coils is being done is just for you to like just take your hair and just like roll it together in between your hands, like with your hands, so that way there is no too much like there's no too the build up in between it, like the construction in between it. Yes, that's the word, the construction in between, like inside, going on inside is not much, so it's going to take less time for it to lock. Unlike the twist is like, it's like one hair is here, another hair is here, it has been twisted together before this part of the hair, the one on the left side, can go through its own construction process, like, and start locking. Is like, let me just say, one time, and before the one on the right side can go through its own construction process and start locking is another time. So for the two of them to not come together and say yes, it's like a longer time. But for twist and for Sisterlocks, it's not like that. It's just easy, just like I have explained, that the construction process is, there's nothing in between them, like inside, okay, let me just say inside them there is no too much construction going on there, so it gives them easy time for them to lock. So lastly we have, okay, second to the last, we have extensions. As you can see, these are extensions. Okay, so extensions is you don't want to lock, you don't want to take time in locking your hair, you don't want to go through all this process of budding and say, oh my god, my hair is not budding, oh, my hair is not locking, and that. So you just want to have instant locks, like you just want to have locks immediately. Someone should see you from yesterday to today and be like, wow, you looked your hair is so nice. That's extension. So extensions is when you go to a loctician or a salon and you say, I want to lock my hair instantly, I don't want to go through the journey of doing it by myself, or having to worry about my hair, or having to go through the process like you're traveling on a journey. So that's extension, and you just get extensions like original lock extensions, and they apply it to your hair by interlocking process, and as time goes on it just locks into your hair and your lock journey begins. So that's extension. So one drawback about extension is that you never get the full experience. Like, just like I said, like all these things I know now, it's from my own lock journey experience. Like, it has made me know more about my hair, about locks. I never knew anything about locks before, but because I never went through extension, like I wanted to see the journey, even though sometimes I panicked. Sometimes I was happy, like it was like a mixed feeling. But anyway, I'm not going to dive into that today. We'll be talking about that, just like I said earlier, as time goes on in this channel, I'm going to post my lock journey and tell you guys everything about my lock journey, so you guys can see the experience, how lovely and how amazing it is. Just a way of telling you that you should choose any of this. You can just decide on your own. That's why I'm giving you many lists, and you can take them down and decide on your own which one will be perfect for you. And like, it's a personal decision which one you want to go for, because I did all this too when I wanted to start my locks, and I decided to go for twist. So for extensions, you never get the full experience. That's one thing about extensions. But what are the expectancy? the air root needs to go through the lock process. So the root, after the extension has been fixed into your hair, into like, let me say 1 inch or 2 inch of your hair, depending on how long your hair you add the extension to it, the root of the extension will still need to go through the lock process. It will still need to become a part of your hair. That's why you see some people sometimes they say, I've had my locks for 5 years, like I think like they call it their locks now because it's already part of their hair. It has gone through the lock process and the extension has locked into their hair and it's now their hair. Okay, let me explain better. If I cut my dread now, just one of my dread, or let me say I decide to like not go through the process of losing my dread or like cutting it one by one, I could keep it, and later on when I decide to like fix my locks back, I could just take it to a loctician, a very good loctician, and it can attach it back to some few, like maybe 1 inch or 2 of my hair after cutting it into the part which I want. And let me say for maybe 6 months or so, depending on the texture of your hair or whosoever is doing it, or depending on the texture of my hair, it's going to go through the lock process, and after going through that lock process, it attaches back to my hair and it becomes my lock. So that's the meaning of it's the root of it has to still undergo the lock process. So that's the expectancy for extension. So lastly, we have the Freeforms or the organic. In my last video, please, if you haven't watched that video, I need you to go and see that video because I'm taking you guys like on a process. You must not mix one and jump into the other. You need to go back and see that video. The link is up. Yeah, you can see the link up there. So please click on that video, watch that video before you see this, so you can know the pattern style that you want to use for your lock. So you don't have to like cut your lock and start all over again and cut and start again. Because I had a friend which she never knew much about locks, and so when she started, Alex was already like 2 years gone, and she was like, I don't like the size of my locks, I don't this, that. They never got the pattern style that she wanted, and she had to cut her locks and start again. So I don't want that for you. I want you to know everything about your lock journey step by step. So please go back and watch that video. So in that video, we talked about freeforms and organic, and today we're still going to be talking about freeform and organic, sorry. So the freeform or organic is just like, you don't know how it will, like, you don't know how it's going to come out because there's no pattern style to it. You just leave your lock and you just want it to like grow. You just leave your hair without combing it. You just left it like that, and it's just going to come out anyway in any form. You don't have a particular way it's going to come out. Like there's no pattern to the down of it. And after I guess 6 to 8 months, they are being detached from one another. So that's one thing. That's the basic about freeforms and organic. Sorry, I keep saying and organic. It's freeforms or organic looks. That's all. So today we've talked about like twist, braids or plaits, comb coils or comb twists, backcombing, Sisterlocks, extensions, freeforms or organic. I guess you can like Google and you see more of the type of locks and you'll be wondering why didn't I mention it. It's because those ones are not very common like that. These are the common ones in the triple. Some people still say there is there's 2 twists, which is what I talked about now. There is 3 twists, so those ones are not common like that, but these are the common ones which I've shared with you guys. If you find this video very helpful, if you like it, please share, like, subscribe, and turn on the bell notification. I love you guys, and I'm going to see you on my next video. Bye.